We're gonna call this regular meeting of the Warren City Council to order. Can we all rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we take roll, I just want to let everyone know in the gallery and around the table, we have some very nice treats from Wrapped and Rooted Gift Shop, some chips and dip and some water. So please help yourself. You're not imprisoned to your chairs, so it'll be up here for the duration of the night. With that, Ms. Thury, could you please call roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher.
Here.
Mrs. Casey.
Here.
Mr. Cashman.
Present.
Mr. Gilbert.
Here.
Mr. Champlin.
Here.
Mr. Villela.
Here.
Mayor Workman is absent this evening.
Thank you. And we do have some members in the gallery this evening, so I'd like to say hello and welcome to all of you. I see a former junior council member in our midst. Hi. Is there anybody in the audience that has a comment or a subject matter that's not currently on the agenda to discuss this evening? Great. We'll move on to the motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. Any motions to amend the agenda and statement of purpose of amendment?
I make a motion, we not amend the agenda. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Great. We also have in our packets the minutes from the regular city council meeting on April 20th. And does anybody have any comments, corrections, or a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve as submitted.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Great. I should prolong this because our next agenda item is the best and worst part of our agenda this evening. And that is our recognition of our junior council member, Kylie Jurkowski. We have had the privilege and the honor to have Kylie Jurkowski stand and sit on our council for the last 9 months of the school year. And those of you who don't know, I had to write them down, a list of activities and things that Kylie does in her very limited free time. She's on student council, a member of the National Honor Society, Tri-M Music Honor Society, Grace United Methodist Choir, Church Outreach Committee. I also heard from a little birdie. She's a fantastic liturgist at the church. She is treasurer of P Club, and she also volunteers with all the time she has for roadside cleanup and Alzheimer's walk, just to name two. And I've had the privilege of connecting with you both inside chambers and out. And you are a very impressive young lady. And we are so grateful that you have chosen our council to serve as junior council member on. And we know that no matter where you go, what you do, you're going to succeed, and the sky is the limit for you. And I know that you may not want to be put on the spot, but I just wanted to say again, thank you. We're so proud of you, and we cannot wait to see what you do. And I do hope that you come back to visit us, because once you're part of council, you're council forever. So with that, do you have anything that you would like to say?
Just thank you for this opportunity. It's really been amazing to be a part of this, even though I still don't understand some of the things. It really has been great, so thank you.
Yeah, and with that, because we don't want you to forget us, and we also want to make sure that you hydrate, we do have a wonderful cup for you inside of this box with the city's, is it our crest? Is it our logo?
See you.
It's our seal inside of this box. And so with that, we'll leave it with you. And as you go on in life, drink out of this cup and think of this fondly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause. Do that very fast because I was gonna cry. So I did it. So we're gonna keep on moving. Miss Thury, did we get any correspondence?
No.
Great. Thank you. So now we're just cruising right along. We have another guest here tonight, Erin Werner with Wrapped and Rooted. She is going to give a presentation on her wonderful business. So I'd like to come to the podium, and the floor is yours.
So I'm Erin Werner. I opened my gift shop in November 17th, so 6 months now I've been open. I specialize in gifts and I have houseplants and a potting bar. You can come in, pick out a pot, pick out a plant, free. You can bring in something to pot. I've had a lot of positive comments from everybody coming in, like, you know, the different things, different options that you can't find in town where you'd have to go online. So it's just nice to have something different in town. I did bring some treats. There's chips from Terrapin Ridge and 4 dips. They have a line of all kinds of different treats, aiolis, tips, jams. So they have a little bit of everything for anyone. I think what else? I have some local vendors. Becky Hampson, she does local art in the area. Jody Alio, he does metalwork. I have some of his hand carved saws to look like trees. Tessa Card with her wild card design, earrings and sweatshirts and some local apparel. So I'm looking, you know, to bring in some other local people. It's just nice to have a place for people to come to find different things. I think what else? I do tuxedo.
Tell us the address.
Yeah.
It's 201 Liberty Street. So it used to be in a vault, it was PNC Bank before that. So I do have the vault that's still there and some of the original tile from 1903. So it's pretty neat to see how some of it was kept. And so I also do the tuxedo rentals and they have some for purchase too through Jim's Formal Wear. So that's been a busy season with prom we just had. So it was nice to have everybody come in and still trying to get everybody to know where I am and that I'm here. That's been kind of the hardest thing, is just to let everybody know I'm here.
How was your first prom season? I mean, this was your first go at it, and I know that
Right.
the tuxedo rental was something new that you were trying there, and you have like a space for them to
Yes,
try on tuxedos.
Yep, I changed the one conference room into a fitting area, so some of the cubicles were left. And I repurposed those into being fitting rooms. So it was pretty decent. I had the Warren prom, a wedding, and then Eisenhower prom, and I have a couple weddings coming up. So again, getting the word out and had some people from Jamestown call, so they're finding I'm here. It's just nice to try to get people to come down, you know, from out of the area to know what Warren has, and had a couple come down Friday with their kids and was trying to tell them about the places to go downtown. They were looking for a place to eat, so it's just nice to be able to tell them some other local options to go to.
What was the inspiration behind your name, Wrapped and Rooted? Is that just it sounded good, or was there a story behind it?
So kind of as a joke, I always wanted a Hallmark. I worked in Hallmark when I was in college and I just liked gifts. So I wanted to do something where you could come a one-stop shop, you have your greeting cards, I do gift wrap, it's in gift bags, I'm a terrible wrapper with paper. But then I like houseplants, so I wanted to have an area to do houseplants, the potting bar, so people can come in and even create their own special gift for someone too. So the houseplants have really been a hit. I wasn't too sure how it would go over, but everybody really seems to like it, so.
It's nice to pop your plans and make a mess somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Much easier.
Or if you want me to do it for you, that's why I like to pot up everything too. So, yeah. Just this past Mother's Day, that was a nice busy holiday too, and I did a kids event where they could come shop for mom, and I had my white bags, and I set up in a separate room where they could do coloring stickers and stamps, and I had a pretty tissue paper for them to put in the bags that was all ready to go for mom.
What are your hours currently?
I'm open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 2, so I'm closed Sunday and Mondays. So yeah, right now it's just me. I have 2 ladies that do help me once in a while, so I'm just trying to get everything going and hopefully get them some more time too, but just see how everything goes.
Does anybody else have any questions, comments? Anybody in the gallery that have a question or comment?
It's the best chocolate peanut butter cups ever.
Should have led with that, Erin.
Yeah.
I will say your addition of the awnings look spectacular. I think it really.
Yeah, that definitely has
together.
helped people to know where I am.
Or
Yeah.
That door likes to hide.
Yeah, I was just so flat before, so it's nice to have something to really pop out.
Well, thank you so much, Erin. It's been wonderful having you. You're welcome to stay, of course. we're getting into the business agenda part of the evening, but thank you for coming. Thank you for choosing our city. And we wish you many success in your endeavors. And I'm coming for some peanut butter cup, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're big ones too. Well, I hope everybody enjoys the treats too.
And before we move on to our business agenda, I'd like to just make a brief announcement that this Saturday, May 23rd at 10 a.m., we are having a 4-flag ceremony at Heritage Point Crescent Park just over the bridge. And it is a full slew of an itinerary. I'm not going to read through it, but be there or be square. And even our illustrious Mr. Cashman will be doing a flag presentation. All right. So we'll move into the business agenda. Proposed ordinance, Pennsylvania Avenue West mid-block crosswalk. Chief Sperry?
Thank you. As council will recall, a business owner in 200 block Penn Avenue West addressed city council at the February regular council meeting regarding parking in the 200 block of Penn Avenue West. His two concerns were that motorists frequently park in the areas adjacent to the mid-block crosswalk, which are marked for no parking, and a need for additional parking spaces. This request was reviewed by city staff. At the April council meeting, it was noted that construction of the roundabout crosswalk located at Penn Avenue West and Market Street reduced the distance between that crosswalk and the crosswalk located at the intersection of Penn Avenue West and Liberty Street. In addition, it was reported that city staff contacted multiple merchants in the 200 block and each indicated that they are in favor of moving the crosswalk to accommodate additional parking spaces. Therefore, it was recommended that the mid-block crosswalk be removed and that new metered parking spaces be created in its place. Following discussion, council voted to table the matter until this meeting and requested that city staff contact all property/business owners in the 200 block. In addition, it was requested that council be provided with an aerial view of the block indicating the location and number of parking spaces to be created. Manager Holtz and I conducted a survey and spoke to the owner or manager of each business located within the block. Survey results: 7 in favor, 1 opposed, 2 no preference. There seems to be a prevalent misconception that the gourd/hashed markings adjacent to the mid-block crosswalk are for the purpose of temporary parking for loading and unloading or for carryout pickups. However, these are in fact no parking areas and are for the purpose of assuring a clear sight distance to allow pedestrians to see oncoming traffic and to provide a clear sight line for motorists to see pedestrians entering the crosswalk, and there should be no parking at any time. The current PennDOT crosswalk policy indicates that there should not be a mid-block crosswalk unless the location is more than 300 feet from the nearest marked crosswalk on the same roadway. In this instance, the distance to each of the intersection crosswalks is 260 feet, which is well below the threshold, and therefore the crosswalk is not warranted under PennDOT guidelines. The executive director of the EOC, which owns multiple properties within this block, requested that consideration be given to designated one of the new parking spaces on the south curb for disability parking. If so directed by council, staff will prepare an ordinance establishing a disability parking space for council's consideration at the June regular meeting. Action requested. Council consideration of the ordinance providing for removal of the mid-block crosswalk within the 200 block of Penn Avenue West and further providing that it is to be replaced by metered parking spaces. Also requested is council's consideration and direction regarding the establishment of a disability parking space on the south curb of the 200 block of Penn Avenue West. Enclosures, proposed ordinance, aerial view indicating the number and location of spaces to be created, aerial view indicating distances between crosswalks, business owner surveys, and PennDOT LTAP technical information sheet number 239.
Thank you, Chief.
Having said that, is there any comments or questions?
Yes. Is there anybody in the gallery that wishes to comment or speak on this agenda item? Yes, sir. Will you please come up to the podium, state your name and address, please?
Yeah, to Soane, 119 Grant Street. My only question is, has a study been done to see how often that particular walkway is used? Is it frequently? Is it infrequently? Because it seems to me, just based on my years of living here, that the mid-block crosswalk, while there was no roundabout before that, was used quite often for the area businesses and people trafficking back and forth, so they don't have to go down by the the Pennsylvania Avenue and Market Street, because it's always very busy. And I don't know about the other end up by Litter. I was just wondering if anybody has done a study to see how often it's used. If it's never used, I can understand completely.
I'll defer to the manager or the chief.
There's, to my knowledge, there's never been a formal study.
PennDOT does studies when you request to add crosswalks and things of that nature. PennDOT, to my knowledge, would not do a study to consider removing a crosswalk that technically is already illegal by their standards.
Thank you, Mr. Tassone, for your comments, your question. Is there anybody else in the gallery? Mr. Watson, if you want to
Yeah,
come to the podium, please. Same thing, state your name and address, please.
yes, Fred Watson, 223 Pennsylvania Avenue West, my property edges the crosswalk. Thank you for hearing me tonight. I had mixed feelings. I've talked to the chief and I've talked to the other gentleman. Yes, and I understand the rules. The rules are stated by the state of Pennsylvania. As the gentleman that just spoke, I have similar thoughts. The busy time of the day is at 4 o'clock in the evening, 5 o'clock when the banks close, things like that. I witness crossing using all the time, but I've adjourned to what the chief and I just can't remember your name, Joe? Mike. Mike mentioned, you know, I can work with it. You know, we need the parking spot. We need it. And, you know, it's a choice and whether you take it or you don't. Personally, I've been there for 40 years and I have a bad feeling about the garage in the first place. I think it should be up here, not down there. Okay. And I'm glad it's getting painted. It was a mess. It's destroyed my car a couple of times. But you guys took care of it. I appreciate that. I have already adjourned to the idea of what Mike and the chief has said, and I can live with it. But I personally, I just feel that, you know, there's a fire meter there. There's a what do we call it, guys? It's a thing that the firemen use to put the buildings out.
Fire hydrant.
Fire hydrant. Thank you. And I mean, crosswalk signs. I've known them since I've had my license. Okay, I know when I see one. Okay, it's just like other things that I'd like to bring up, but I don't think it's for this meeting. But it's just the fact that seniors should be trained again or tested again to see if they're liable drivers, if they're good drivers. Okay, and I just think that it should be a law. I think after 75 to 80, they should be tested and see if they're capable and able to drive properly. But the thing is, that's the only thing that I've really wanted to bring. But the thing is, as far as this crosswalk, I have seen it being used, and I know it gets used. I had one of my fellow business persons that just works down at the cleaner. She said that there's a line from the stop sign clear to the roundabout, and it gets held back and slowed down because of the amount of people that are crossing at that one crosswalk at the bank on Liberty and the 200 block and you know, Penn Avenue. But you know, it could be a problem, but I just think that there should be other ways to address it. And I just wish there were, you know, as my friend said, that there should maybe be somebody to say, is it really usable? And how is it used? I think it is. And, but that's just my opinion and I wanted to hear it. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Watson.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Ma'am,
it.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are there any other public comments before we move to council conversation?
Right? Council, questions? Additions?
I make a motion that we approve as submitted.
I have one question. Do we have to make a separate motion, the disability placed in, or does this motion go? The disability part is fine.
Disability is included in the action requested, so I would go ahead and say that it includes both.
Yeah, I thought it was said earlier that there was.
Could I interject, please? One more time. About the EOC. So, excuse me. And they're parking for handicaps. They have a handicap entrance in their back door. Why there has to be a designated handicap just for, the EOC? I'm against. I think that they have a handicap entrance at the back door. It's just the same thing that created this loading and unloading situation out front of the store, of the EOC. They have all the parking all along the line of their property, facing, or adjoining the gambling place down here, whatever it is, Choice. They have the whole line along that wall where they can park and also designate for a handicap parking spot. Even if it had to be the second, third spot in on the side of that building that they just bought, the dry cleaners, Jarvis Cleaners. It's, there's a lot of things on that block. The building needs tore down. Someone told me, Mr. Christie, I think his name is Christie or Christie. But the new gentleman that is owner now, that he said it was gonna cost $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 to tear down that building. Has anybody looked at that or bidded that out to actually see how much that would cost to get taken
Mr.
down?
Watts, it's not part of this agenda item, so. if
Okay.
You're more than welcome to call city staff and discuss it, or call the business owners, but we're gonna stay at the
Okay, gotcha. But as far as the handicap parking, I'm against it.
thing. We hear you.
Okay, thank you.
With that being said, Chief, it would be a public handicap spot.
So basically, all that we're asking is for council's guidance if they want us to explore the option, which would be presented at next month for an additional handicap. This isn't guaranteeing it. This is basically you all telling us what you want us to start working on.
That means the handicap issue is not in the ordinance.
That would be a separate ordinance voted on next month if you direct us in that direction.
What's the requirements to establish a handicap spot?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Cause I thought that yeah, when you have a certain number of parking spots, that once you get over a certain number, you should put a handicap spot in. I don't know. You'll be able to tell us next meeting.
There is a parking lot requirement, we're
Right.
doing parking lots, I've never heard of one on the street. But at least look into it. I've never heard of a requirement for on just for parking lots.
So we have a motion to approve the ordinance and direct city staff to investigate the disability parking spot. Do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further comments, questions? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Cleary, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mrs. Casey,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
No.
Mr. Champlin,
Yes.
Mr. Valella.
Yes.
Mayor Workman is absent. The motion carries with 5 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you, gentlemen, both for your comments and your questions. We appreciate that. We'll move on to business item B, 8B, proposed ordinance naming municipally owned properties and facilities. Mr. Rossi.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. At the November 17th, 2025 regular city council meeting, a public request was made for the renaming of a city facility. There was no council action taken in regard to the request. City of Warren Planning Commission subsequently tasked with developing an ordinance pertaining to the naming of municipally owned properties and facilities so that a policy would be in place in the event of future requests. Sample ordinances from a variety of communities were reviewed and key components were identified for inclusion in the draft ordinance. The commission voted unanimously to approve the draft ordinance and to recommend that it be adopted by city council. Action requested: city council's consideration and motion regarding the adoption of the ordinance providing for the naming of municipally owned properties and facilities. Enclosed proposed ordinance for municipally owned properties and naming proposal application. In addition to that, there are 3 members of the planning commission in attendance this evening, if council has any questions pertaining to the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Rossi. I would love to hear you say that enclosure sentence 5 times fast. So, is there anybody in the gallery that has a question or comment on this agenda item?
Is there any money in it?
Rossi?
Any, I'm sorry, any money in
Is
it?
there any money in it? Held like naming rights, or is it just for like veterans or past city council members or dignitaries from previous years, like Independence Park or?
Mr. Stone, can you come to the podium, please? Thank you.
I didn't think I.
You should.
Are you asking if there's a fee associated with petitioning for a name? Yes, there will be a fee associated with petitioning for a name, that will be set by city council.
I think what he's asking is. If you give a naming rights, let's say to a stadium, is there any money that will go with that naming rights? All right, so like Acrisure Stadium, the Steelers get money because of that name. And I think that's sort of what I just took the gist that he's asking.
Is that what you were asking about?
Sure.
Okay, at this point,
Other than veterans and past people that like General Joseph Warren Park, for example, for the history of the city.
The city gets money.
But if you're naming something PNC Bank Park, is the city gonna get anything out of it?
No. There is a fee enclosed in the application that covers the cost of advertising and city staff for the cost of covering the application itself, but in terms of awarding naming rights, no.
I also just want to say that this only pertains to city-owned facilities and infrastructure. It does not include like a private things, like a park, like a baseball stadium. or
Yeah,
something
and I
like
can
that.
understand the reasoning behind wanting to name something. There's a history associated with the city or the county. But if it's just because somebody wants their name on something like, I don't know, Donald J. Trump. What benefit is the city?
So when we crafted the ordinance, we did talk about this a good deal. And one of the things that we wanted to do is we didn't want to make it so exclusionary that people couldn't apply. But we also wanted to make sure that it had a connection and that it made sense for our city. So the ordinance does have some guidance. Primarily, it came down to we wanted the petitioner to establish that there is a connection between the request and the city. And so they do this in a number of ways. They do this through letters of reference, letters of support. They do this through petitions. So they'll have to get 100 signatures of support for this. And they also have to write and justify what the connection between the name for the dedication and our city is. So why this person?
So there is some benefit to the city of naming something historically.
Correct, but it's not monetary.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. And I just want all council, we have 4 members of our city planning commission in the audience with us today. So thank you guys for coming out and helping field some of these questions. See back there, Mr. Peterson. And thank you for your question, Mr. Stone. Is there any other questions or comments from the gallery? Great. Council, comments, questions, or a motion?
I got a number of questions, by the way.
You have the floor, Mr. Cashman.
Okay. On page 2, 310-4A. You have that somebody owns a piece of property in the city, but not a resident, can actually apply for a name change. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, can I answer?
Sure.
We wanted to make sure that people that are business owners in the city could have an opportunity to make a request. Or if somebody runs an organization or a nonprofit, you know, I think that they have a stake in our city. And we felt that it would be appropriate to consider a request for designation or memorialization from such a person.
So you're saying somebody that's running a nonprofit, but not located in the city, has a right to make an application? Is that what you're saying also?
No.
No.
No,
So
it
they-
would have to be in the city, so they don't have to be a city resident, but if they own in the city, then
I'm
they.
talking about a nonprofit.
Okay, sure,
So the nonprofit would have to be within the city limits,
correct.
organized, okay. All right, very good. Is there any reason why we should allow any street or alleyway to be renamed?
Elizabeth, you're welcome to come to the podium.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
She is the chair of our planning commission, just for all you in the audience, so. Thank you, Elizabeth.
It was, to answer your question, it was something that we had discussed, and we thought that there would be circumstances where it may be appropriate. But we did want to give both the planning commission and city council, of course, the opportunity to ultimately decide if it makes sense and if it is a legitimate and meaningful request.
And to add to that, if you're renaming a street or an alleyway, we'll use a street for example. When you're doing this, you do have to get at least 51% of the residents in that section of the street or that street approval.
I'm gonna offer an amendment that no street or alleyway can be renamed under this ordinance. I just think it's too disruptive, and people who know where East Street is or Pennsylvania Avenue, it should remain. So I'm offering an amendment, once we get someone to propose this.
Yep.
All right, bridges and pavilions and all that, fine, but not the street itself.
What about Maurice Cashman Way? That designation may be appropriate with some.
Driveway. You know, what I noticed, think about it, I noticed in Erie, Pennsylvania, they do a Maurice Cashman Way, but the street never changed.
The street doesn't change, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this
But
is.
that's what I'm after, is the street remains the same, you wanna attach a sign that says,
In
honor,
yeah.
Whoever. I don't have a problem with that, but I do not want any streets renamed. Okay.
That's very valid. Thank you for your feedback. And I just want to say that one really nice thing about renaming or dedicating infrastructure or public facilities is we're able to kind of give back and honor people that have served the city or made a significant contribution or served for a long amount of time. And I think that we want to make sure that that is still very viable and accessible, because I think that's a nice thing to do and it's a nice way to give back.
I don't suppose you have any examples.
Mr. Tisson, we are currently encountering.
Sorry.
You want to answer that?
That's
The one that always comes to mind is Kelsey Park. There was an employee of the city for 51 years, so. Make 51 years, we'll name you a park. That's a pretty tough call these days.
Yes, indeed.
Well, another example would have been the renaming of the Hickory Street Bridge to the Veterans Memorial Bridge.
Mr. Cash, do you have any questions?
I don't have any problems with bridges, parks, pavilions. Byways, a low sign,
okay,
but not renaming the streets is what my thrust is.
but you're okay with the dedication? As long as the name stays the same?
That's,
Okay, so perhaps when we're making this amendment, it could reflect that nuance.
how do you want this done then? Help me.
Yeah, so basically the name of the street or the alleyway or the byway would not actually change, but there would be a dedication to it. Right?
Well, give me an example. Talk about this. This is the Maurice J. Cashman byway.
Okay, so like, let's just say Hickory Street, okay, we're gonna rename it Maurice Cashman Street. We're not gonna actually rename Hickory Street, but we will dedicate it to you and there would be a plaque.
Yeah, we'll put a flag up. Yeah.
On the Google Maps, we'll say.
No,
So it would be like a nickname, okay, but it'd still be Hickory Street.
No, I don't have, because I've seen Erie has done that a number of times.
Yeah.
And, so very appropriate in some aspects of it.
Yeah, and I think dedications and memorials, that's a good thing to do, and it kind of ties us with our culture to our city and just helps us celebrate what's special about Warren.
My question is, once, something is named the, Maurice Cashman Park. Is it perpetual? Can it ever be changed again?
Yes, there is,
Cause I was trying to find it in here.
there is
Name.
an ability to modify it or change it. If you give me a second, I'll try to find it.
I didn't see that.
It's in there.
It's definitely in there.
And the conditions are the, process by which it may be renamed and changed is also in here.
Correct, the process by which it is done is outlined in here as well.
As is in the application.
Yeah, we also put the details on the application, just in case a petitioner does not go and read the full ordinance, they would still understand the process by which this change or application would be processed.
The only thing that I saw was the top of page 4. Once a name change has been officially approved by the city council, further name changes to the subject property / facility should be strongly discouraged.
Oh, yeah, I
didn't see a length of time.
Yeah. On the application, there is a spot for a modification or a change, so that certainly would be possible. I'm not seeing anything in here right now, but that's certainly something we did talk about. We did talk about situations in which it might be necessary to modify or change a previous dedication.
This doesn't look like it encourages any changes, and once somebody's honored, I'm not necessarily in favor of, dishonoring them in some way. But what I might like to see is something, a bridge, for instance, and it's called the, Warren Benefactors and Heroes Bridge or whatever. And then from time to time, as particular hero or benefactor is honored at that bridge. Because once something's named, you don't, I guess in some cases, you have an annual or an occasional ceremony or something so that the community learns something. But I was thinking, this bridge, the Heroes and Benefactors Bridge. And, you can keep changing, like plaques or something, it's one person. For a while, and then it's somebody else. You can have a ceremony each time. And the idea of benefactors and heroes, gets some attention and focus. That was my only thought on that.
Okay, would you feel comfortable if that was explicitly outlined? Because right now it does not detail modifications, but there is a spot for a modification change on the application.
The ordinance would have to approve that. The ordinance would have to allow for that, is that correct?
Well, right now it is neither saying you can do it or you can't do it. It's just not really, it just says it's discouraged. But that is a slightly different situation than what you're referencing. So I guess my question is, would you want the ordinance to empower that? Or are you okay with it just being a possibility?
If the ordinance does not empower it, how is it a possibility? I guess I don't understand that.
Because it doesn't say that you can't do it. There certainly is a process by which you can do that. You can modify it.
If I may, if you turn to page 4, at the top, item I. Once a name has been officially approved by city council, further name changes to the subject property or facility should be strongly discouraged. It's discouraged strongly, but.
You can do it.
You can do it. Doesn't say you can't do it.
And in fact, I think we discussed that there would be instances where it might be necessary to modify a previous dedication for one reason or another.
And the planning commission is now offering to make it more explicit in terms of that language.
Right, so I guess I'm asking, would you like that cleared up in the language? Would you like it?
Well, if it's named to a particular person, I'm not really, but if it's named to an idea, like heroes and benefactors.
Right.
Then adding names and memorials. Should be part of what's in, part of the plan for that structure, whatever it might be. That's my view.
What you're looking for is essentially a wall. And then you
Yeah,
put
well,
a
that-
person's name on and you keep it on. And then you would add names as you go.
And have ceremonies and.
That's not necessarily.
Some coverage for.
So, that's gonna cost money for the city to implement something like that, so. Just to throw that out today I don't think is.
Basically, the, every name, I looked at the word feasible, every time there's a name, something's going to be named, there has to be an application with a fee attached, is that correct? Yes.
Correct, yes.
And that fee covers the city's expenses for that,
It will help offset that, yes.
okay? So in the case of, a number of plaques, maybe once every 8-10 years, we put one on. Whoever supports that addition of that plaque or that, a new honoree would have to pay an application that would cover the cost.
No, it wouldn't.
Why, well, if we say it has to, why wouldn't?
Well, if you change it such that you're adding a plaque. That the plaque cost also has to be paid as well as the $300 fee.
Absolutely.
And
Or you can just say, whoever is proposing it just, pays any additional expenses.
I just want to point out on page 3, it's going through the review and approval process. On item F, it's saying based on the findings and recommendations of the planning commission, city council at its discretion may accept, modify, reject, or remand the recommendation to the planning commission for further review. This is set up for there to be modifications. This is set up there for us to revisit previous dedications. I think that it would be unwise to have a dedication set in stone. I think that we want to be able to revisit things if we need to.
I know Mrs. Keith has a question, but I know Mr. Valella has is your question, Mr. Valella, or comment relevant to the current line of questioning?
I believe so.
Is it okay, Mrs. Casey, if you go, mine is a different question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Valella.
If we're talking about naming, I want to recap Mr. Champlin's scenario. The name would be something else. The heroes and benefactors would be the name. The people recognized would be a completely separate issue, not under the naming. Was that accurate?
That is accurate. The best example I can give you is right across the way here and it's on private property, but when Blair put in their wall to recognize their 25-year members club. Okay, that's the name of the wall. Okay, the names on there are added every time somebody achieved that milestone.
Are all the current questions on the floor answered?
Yeah, I think so, if I understand, the benefactors and memorials, benefactors and Heroes Bridge, then from time to time, and it would always be called that, like this, so, and then maybe on the Veterans Bridge, you can have various veterans individually recognized. on that bridge.
No, you're gonna get overwhelmed here. If you're gonna have something like that, then you need to go to an actual park and put a wall up and add plaques, put it on a bridge. It would be more appropriate in a park. Yeah, so that's my view of it.
And Mr. Chan, we're gonna go to Mrs. Casey. If you have anything else to add, we'll come back for round two. Mrs. Case.
I really appreciate the due diligence that the commission is put into this, and you've obviously stated that you've looked at other communities that have done such a thing. I guess I'm just curious, from those other communities, did they mention how maybe overrun they were with applications? Did it seem like there was an ongoing perpetual cycle of this?
We did not actually touch base with those communities. What I did in my research was to look at their ordinances and look at their applications.
Okay.
But I do want to recognize that, some of the other ordinances that we're looking at came from, like bigger cities, so obviously we have less facilities that are available for naming, because certainly most of them have already been. Okay, so, we're talking about a handful of situations, and I think this is something that happens relatively infrequently here. But we just felt like we should have a policy so that there was a fair, balanced approach. And when a petitioner makes an application, that they understand what they need to do in order for their request to be processed efficiently.
Yeah, because I follow Pittsburgh pretty well, and they renamed, I think it's the Fifth Street Bridge, what was the name, Roberto Clemente Bridge. And then the artist that can't think of his name right now, the following bridge was also Pittsburgh.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah, Andy Warhol Bridge. And I think the bridge above that, which is an exact duplicate of those two bridges, has not been renamed. So, and they've named a couple of areas, but other than that, that's as much as I've seen in that city.
I have two questions.
Of course.
My first question is, and maybe I missed it, I apologize if I did, is there any limitation that one entity, how many facilities, parks, whatever, they can name?
At one point it was in here, and I'm gonna look really quickly.
Well, I'm gonna ask, my second question is, so, section 310-6, it goes L to N, was it possibly M of section 310-6?
It was possibly M.
Okay, that's another question.
Yes,
At one point in here, we had, if there was already a facility that had been named for a person or an entity, that it would be discouraged for there to be a duplicate. I'm not seeing anything in there at this point, but I think that might be something worth having in here.
I do think having like some sort of limitation, like one business entity can't name 20 different municipally owned situations, you know what I mean? So.
I assume the file will probably take care of that. Right.
I guess that's a clarifying point to what Danielle's saying, because you just mentioned there's maybe a handful of opportunities that could potentially be named. I guess if there are a list of those potential opportunities, that if somebody did want to, they could have a list of here's your options.
I think what's important to remember too is, we are putting the decision in the hands of first the planning commission or Parks and Rec. If it's a park, and then city council gets to make the final call. So I know that we just wanted to trust the process, and make sure that, the people making the decisions are going to be able to filter through these and decide if it's appropriate and if this is something they think works for our city.
Right. I just wondered if, in the very beginning, to what Danielle's saying too, is there, if somebody wanted to name something but didn't even know what they could possibly, is there a list of a handful of opportunities?
We already have a comprehensive list, certainly we have a comprehensive list of our parks.
Right.
We know our buildings, I'm sure very quickly we can devise that list pretty easily.
And I don't think the intent of this ordinance was to solicit
No.
renaming. So once again, this is to facilitate if someone comes forward with something they feel strongly about. And in answer to how many, a service organization or whatever, how many things could they rename? Each one would be single application. So you have to follow the step for each one of them, which if you've looked over this and if you've looked over the application, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it is consuming. You need to follow the steps. And the planning commission did not want to make it something that was simple as, hey, let's just go out and start renaming things.
And it's completely fine for infrastructure or facilities to not have a name or dedication. I think that's okay. But if someone feels strongly and thinks that a naming or dedication makes sense to them and they want to pursue that, we just wanted to be very clear about what the process is associated with that. And of course, city council has the final say about if they agree and they think that it is worthy of naming.
And I may add, along with city council, there is the fact that a public hearing has to be held, so the public has a say in it also.
In November, we had the meeting and we had that letter, someone wanted to rename a bridge. When I sat back there and I listened to everybody that spoke, the thing that resonated with me was they just wanted a chance to be a part of this and say, what they thought about it. And so I think the public hearing is really important for people to be able to come and share and, and kind of like work through some of this. Like, I think that is an important part of the process.
I totally agree. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Rossi, for bringing that point up. I do think that's very important as well. Everyone spoke except for Mr. Gilbert. Do you have anything? Okay.
I do have a question. So section 310-4 says the applications may be submitted by a city of Warren resident, a city property owner, or a longstanding community organization for the city. But then when we look at the section 3 of the application, and it's section 1E2, when it talks about the 100, not less than 100 signatures on the petition, it says the signatures are only to come from city of Warren residents or property owners. Should like the chair of one of the organizations listed in 310-4 be included in that? So that, if it's the community foundation or if it's the United Way or somebody, that they could also sign a petition. I don't know if there was any thought given to that or not, just something I noticed that was different between who can apply and then who can sign a petition.
Sure. I think the way that it is written is how it was intended for us. If we are talking about a facility or infrastructure in the city, we want to make sure we're hearing from the city residents about it. But I also wanted to make sure that a business owner or an organization that works closely in our city has the ability to bring a petition for a naming. But ultimately, we're here to serve the interests of our city, okay? So I think the 100 signatures is a little bit of a modest number when we were discussing what sort of number we wanted on the petition. But we want to make sure that those people are vested in the city and that we're serving those interests. So I think to me, that was very purposeful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Mrs. Brayful. Yeah, great. Okay, so we've had a lot of questions and comments. We've had a lot of potential amendments, changes. What is council's thoughts? Do we have a motion? Do we have further discussion in terms of tabling and having it revisited with these changes made?
I think, I'll make a motion that we approve this as submitted with amendments be so enunciated.
Do you want to enunciate those amendments now? Are you making a motion? Oh, okay. So you're making a motion to approve as presented with amendments.
If I second that, then we make the amendments. I second this motion.
Okay, second.
So the one that I was most interested in is we do not rename any streets or alleyways. With the caveat, ask, ma'am, with the caveat that you can put a sign on a street name, but not be renaming it. Is that what you were after?
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I just needed a. I could have asked, but I got one now. Okay, so we are okay with not renaming the actual street, but you're okay with the dedication?
Alleyways.
Correct, yes.
Consider a street, but.
We talked to.
That could be very long.
You said amendments, plural, do you have that?
I thought maybe somebody else said something one day.
Well, if I hand raised for.
It is just to, if we look at 310-6 F on page 4. If we were to strike numerically named. And add street or alley, and add or alleyway. And then. Have the caveat at the end that dedications are acceptable. Would that be a decent enough amendment? So it would read. No street or alleyway shall be renamed so as to preserve continuity, and consistency. Dedications are acceptable.
I think that's fair. I think that reaches what Mr. Cashman is trying to say. Reasonable. So now we make that an official amendment?
Well, I mean, he mentioned the spirit of it. I was just trying to provide some detail.
No, I,
You know, we can probably make that line adjustment without a motion. Thank you.
okay, I make a motion that we, add that as an amendment.
310-6 letter
F.
F.
I would like to add the amendment more of a grammatical correction to change.
Okay, so you get a second for that amendment.
Oh, okay.
Second.
I'm gonna make an amendment to correct the N to an M for alphabetical.
I understand.
I don't think you need to make an amendment. They'll just make it.
There we go, yes, that was just an error. I'm sorry, this was a working document, you know, we were adding and we were editing, so.
I'm sure.
You did an excellent job.
You did a great
I have
job.
to congratulate you.
Any other,
All members.
is there any other amendments to motion? Okay,
First the amendment has to pass.
Hmm?
First the amendment has to be voted on.
right.
Okay.
So Ms. Leary, can you please call roll on the amendment?
Yes, Ms. Fleischer,
Yeah.
Mrs. Casey,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mr. Champlin,
Yes.
Mr. Valella,
Yes.
and Mayor Wortman is absent. The motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
So now we have a motion to approve as presented with said amendments. And we have a second from Mr. Champlin. Any questions or comments further on that? Ms. Leary, please call roll.
Ms. Fleischer,
Yes.
Mrs. Casey,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mr. Champlin,
Yes.
Mr. Valella,
Yes.
and Mayor Wortman absent. The motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabel, and thank you to all the planning commission for being here this evening. You guys are in good hands of your president, that is for sure. So we'll move on to agenda item 8C, proposed resolution establishing fees. Mr. Rumpke.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The ordinance establishing chapter 310 of the codes of the city of Warren, providing for the naming of municipally owned properties and facilities, requires that there be an application fee which shall be due and payable upon submission of the application. Therefore, it is necessary to adopt a fee resolution that includes the application fee. The Planning Commission recommends that the fee be set at $300 per application, which is sufficient to cover the cost of the required public hearing legal notice, in addition to offsetting administrative costs incurred in the processing of the application. Action requested, council's consideration and motion regarding the proposed resolution establishing fees. Enclosed fee resolution page, which includes the municipally owned properties and facilities naming application fee, and all other fees remain unchanged. The current fee resolution may be viewed at its entirety on the city website.
Thank you, Mr. Rumpke. Is there anybody in the gallery that wishes to speak or comment or question this agenda item? Okay, council?
Make a motion, we approve this minute.
Second.
Motion in the second.
I have a question. You had talked a little bit earlier about if somebody wants a plaque, if we're doing a dedication, that the cost of the plaque should be paid for by the applicant. Is this the correct place to add this? So it would be $300 plus the cost of any plaque? I mean,
I think that's something that starts coming. You know, right now, we're just having a naming right, you're gonna, I don't know, like the Veterans Memorial Bridge, there is a plaque on there that the city paid for it, or the, yeah, and, yeah, if anybody wants to amend this, I don't have any problems with that, but sometimes the city needs to put a plaque on it.
and that's fine. I just didn't want it to.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I guess I was thinking, sometimes. Reason why we do take on flags because we want it through. Flag. That's
That's
the
fine.
right plaque for the application.
And match your step.
That too.
And I mean, if we do see an uptick in this sort of
Yeah.
situation, we can always revisit during.
Start hanging plaques every month, we'll come back with some flag.
Okay.
We have that, naming.
I know. Think I should flag.
I can't imagine, well.
We're gonna go from Tree City USA to Plaque City USA. Thank you, listener. Any other questions? We do have a motion and a second on the floor. Okay, Ms. Leary, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Fleischer?
Yes.
Mrs. Casey?
Yes.
Mr. Cashman?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes.
Mr. Champlin?
Yes.
Mr. Valella?
Yes.
Motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. And so we will move on to 8D, which is the bid awards for the street paving. And that is Mr. Holt.
Thank you. Two bids were received for the city's 2026 pavement milling overlay program with IA Construction in Franklin, Pennsylvania being the apparent low bidder. The total bid is compromised of base bid in the amount of $431,406.70, with a bid for optional work of $162,036.60, for a total of $593,443.30. Base bid will pave 14 blocks. The option bid of up to indicates the city has the flexibility to direct the contractor to point stone, all of stone or all of the option. In 2026, the overlay budget consists of allocating $310,000 from the Pennsylvania State Liquid Fuels and $150,000 from the city's general fund, totaling $460,000. It is recommended to award the base bid for the core work only. By awarding the base bid, it leaves the remaining balance of $28,593.30 left in the budget. These monies allow city flexibility to address any problems that could occur along the way. IA has successfully completed numerous city projects and is recommended that they be awarded the contract. Action requested is council's consideration and motion regarding the award of the 2026 overlay project contract with IA Construction in the amount of $431,406.70. Find and close the bid tab and a list of streets that are to be resurfaced. Any questions regarding that?
Mr. Holt. Is there anybody in the gallery that wishes to comment, question on this agenda item? Thank you. Anybody in council with questions, comments, motion?
Make a motion and we approve as submitted.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further conversation? What? Ms. Leary, please call roll.
Yes, Ms. Fleischer?
Yes.
Mrs. Casey?
Yes.
Mr. Cashman?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes.
Mr. Champlin?
Yes.
Mr. Valella?
Yes.
Motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Under the same 8B, we have the Point Park Rehabilitation Project. Mr. Yurcik.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. On May 13th, bids were opened for the Point Park Rehabilitation Project. The scope of the project consists of new playground equipment, a new pavilion, new perimeter fencing, and concrete sidewalks and patio. The city received 2 responsive bids for the site grading and concrete work, with John Anderson Construction of Warren providing the lowest responsive bid in the amount of $29,956.50. The remaining park improvements will be procured by the city through the CoStar's statewide cooperative purchasing program. Funding for this project includes $184,900 committed by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources and $195,000 in matching funds to be paid from the city's CIP fund in the 2026 budget, for a total budget amount of $379,900. City staff did not note any irregularities during review of the bid and recommends awarding a construction contract to John Anderson Construction Incorporated. The project is expected to be completed by October 31st, 2026. Action requested is council consideration and motion regarding award of the Point Park Rehabilitation Project contract to John Anderson Construction Incorporated in the amount of $29,956.50. Enclosed is the bid tabulation as well as the DCNR cost development worksheet that shows the total project costs.
Thank you, Jurkowski. Is there anybody in the gallery that wishes to comment or question on this agenda item? Okay. Council. Question, comments, motion.
Make a motion that we approve as submitted.
Second,
Second, but I do have questions.
go ahead.
So if we look at the budget amount, total amount for 379,900. And then the development cash cost is only 259,900. Is there another 120,000 that's going to be out there in terms of things that we have to do, or is that just a difference in?
So that's a difference in the bids for the concrete work, the grading and the concrete work came in below budget. And then the city's DPW is going to be doing a lot of work associated with the playground equipment installation, the pavilion, and all the ancillary amenities. So that resulted in a significant savings.
So if, follow up with that.
Yeah.
If we have the 184,900 from DCNR and we have matching funds from the CIP city fund. If we're 120,000 under budget, what does that do to those 2 pots of money? Do we then not have to utilize our own? Are we able to redirect $60,000 of that 184 to another project? What happens?
So the grant is a 50% match requirement. So you would not be able to realize the entire $120,000 savings. You'd see 60,000 of that. So that would just not be withdrawn from the city's CIP.
Okay, so we are able then to basically save ourselves the 60 plus.
No, I mean, we've had this scenario happen in the past. Never quite these large numbers, like Mr. Urick stated, it's a dollar for dollar, so you only recognize. You don't spend a one of the grand, you have to take it off the general fund. No, certainly this one's more than amply funded.
Now,
The only caveat sometimes it gives us some flexibility if we get down there and we're doing something. And like,
Yeah.
we've talked about because of that park, making sure it's properly lit because of its location, and some other things, so. We talked about the drainage too, but, yes, there will be a savings, but. Along the way, we might do some.
well, I appreciate the fact that we are going to do some of the work anyway to realize those savings. And save that money coming out of the city.
And we're allowed to do a force account, this is really in the weeds, but when the DPW does in-house work, it's done on the force account page. And that can be set against getting another dollar. Not that easy, fund money, so you can realize more cash using the force account. I know that's Be very clear that there's some ways to bring this back to the minus there.
That's all, thank you.
The question, comment. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Leary, could you please call for vote?
Yes, Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mrs. Casey,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mr. Champlin,
Yes.
Mr. Valella.
Yes.
Motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
And our last business item is 8E, appointment to the Redevelopment Authority, Mr. Rossi.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Rocco Del Prince submitted an application to serve on the City of Warren Redevelopment Authority. It is city staff recommendation that Mr. Del Prince be appointed to fulfill the vacant term expiring December 31st, 2030. This appointment would bring the authority to a full roster. Action requested, council's consideration and motion regarding the appointment of Rocco Del Prince to the Redevelopment Authority for the remainder of the term expiring on December 31st, 2030. Enclosed is Mr. Del Prince's completed application.
Rossi. Is there anybody in the gallery that wishes to comment or question this agenda item? Hearing none. Council, questions, comments, motions?
Make a motion that we approve as presented.
I'll second that motion.
I have a question. Okay, was Rocco the only application that was submitted?
Yes.
Was he the only applicant?
Any other questions or comments? Ms. Leary, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mrs. Casey,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mr. Champlin,
Yes.
Mr. Valella.
Yes.
Motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Okay, 9 committee updates. Come back to you, Mr. Rossi, comp plan task force.
No update at this time. The task force did not meet in the month of May. Their next scheduled meeting will be in June.
You. Riverfront development, Mr. Rossi, anything to add, Mr. Holtz?
Mike, do you wanna?
I can add that I just heard just today from the architect or the landscape planner that they are putting together a schedule to go through the process of the pasture. So taking out on that years. Share that with you when that gets.
Are we still planning our own public event in the city down there?
Yes. Waiting for
Mhm.
some professional folks to do that.
Sure, okay. Any other questions for the riverfront? Thank you. Oh. Okay. So our meeting last month, or I think it's still this month, on May 6th, it was a lot of run-of-the-mill updates. Longhouse will be closed through July for through traffic for culvert work. The Tracy Ridge fire was a success. The Rainbow Group, Nomad Group, might be coming to town. This summer, their ANF is still waiting for confirmation from their leaders to be here in New York. So TBD on that. We talked a lot about upcoming events. There's 414 events on the calendar currently for the Visitors Bureau. And we are in the throes of summertime, so there's festivals out the insert appropriate council decorum adjective here. The Municipal Administrator Secretary's meeting for the county is on May 28th, which is next week. The EMS annual dinner was held last week. I don't know if anybody here went, but how'd that go?
Good.
Great.
Good turnout.
Was it good food?
Yes.
Perfect. And there was a good update about a pediatric restraint coming from one of the rates for, I think it was emergent care. Rich Barrett had mentioned it, so we're working on bringing those in. And the bike trail resurfacing has been awarded to Lakeshore Paving. And so they're gonna be resurfacing the bike trail, I think all 3 miles of it, if I remember correctly. And Commissioner Glotz is looking into the extension still, so they're gonna be moving it towards close to where the mall used to be. And that you're gonna extend it.
You said up to where the mall used to be. I
Well,
said, isn't it still there?
I guess it depends on how you want to define mall, but it's a strip mall, I guess. And we do have some we talked about Warren Works, but I'm going to pull that, the actual Warren Works update. I think the majority of what's on here. We will be covering. Through that, so I don't know if there's any questions about Pong, but it was a run-of-the-mill meeting. Our next one is somewhere, do you know where it's next one is?
June 3rd at Pleasant Township.
I heard last night, not last night, but from one of the county commissioners over the weekend, the rainbow, it sounds like the rainbow, or it is, yeah.
Yeah.
The chief of police has an update on.
Not for this venue, but I can inform council. I've been privy to a lot of different high level meetings and I do have some information, but not that's public at this time.
Yeah. I heard our forest is really good, that's why they're coming, so that's a plus for us, you guys. And I'm just going through the Warren Burke stuff real quick, I know, I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but they awarded $8,100 in mini grants. And that was 13 grants in total, 6 $1,000 ones, 1 $900, and I think it was like a 200 increment. 500, thank you. Can't even know handwriting. And yeah, I think everything else you'll cover between you and Mrs. Casey for Warren Works. So we'll move on to that committee update. What you got, Mr. Holt, or Mrs. Casey?
I don't, go ahead.
Tomorrow's the monthly standing meeting of the Economic and Community Development, and the public's more than welcome to attend, and it's at 8 o'clock in the 4th floor conference room at NPRC.
It's available via Zoom as well, right?
You can attend via Zoom and open in public.
I do have one update. We did become an IMBA trail town. I'm remiss in what IMBA stands for.
International Mountain Bike Association.
Thank you. We became that just recently, right? And
A
that,
couple weeks ago, yeah.
and that kind of brings in a networking opportunity with others in that designation.
The Trails at Jake's Rocks is affiliated with NAMBA, which is a part of the IMBA, which is an International Mountain Bike Association, and we are the only one in Pennsylvania to be awarded that designation, and there's 28 other communities that got that.
Great, thank you. They are, I will say Warner is also looking, they're doing a series called Manufacturing Matters through Erie News Now. And they are doing a series of radio ads and through Erie News. It's zero cost to manufacturing companies. So if anybody knows of any manufacturing companies within the county, big, small, known, not known, I believe Jenny Phillips and Netta would be both be interested in that contact. It is zero cost, like I said, to the business, just a few hours of their time to come in and do an interview. So they want to highlight some of the businesses that make our county great. And that's that. So is there any other questions or comments on any of the committee updates? Any questions on the department report that were sent out last Thursday? Any questions on the improvements of board of commissions? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.